When most pros come on here and tell you guys about Plugg sound selection, first synth that they usually just spit out is purity, and they use it as a holy grail. But what they don't know is that purity is not the origin of this Plugg sound selection. PCM Synthesis is the key to Plugg sound selection. Purity is just one of the synths in the long lineage of PCM synthesizers and Romplers that have came out before. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the true holy grail PCM synthesizer, the Roland Fantom XR. That is the rack mount version of Roland's Fantom X series. The Yamaha motif is what I would recommend if you're going to make normal plug or plug-in beat. This right here has all of the roll pianos, strings, R&B leads from the early 2000s and 90s that you are looking for. This right here is a true Plugg holy grail. Some of the best EPs, strings, anything you could imagine for Plugg sound selection originated out of this Yamaha motif box right here. This Yamaha motif released in 2001, and then in 2004, that's when Roland released their response with the Fantom X series. But this wasn't just a response, this was a complete upgrade over their old XV series. So everything that the old XV5080 could do, the Roland Fantom X could do, plus tons more with a bunch of new sounds and a bunch of new waveforms. So yeah, bro. When the creators of Plugg created Plugg, they didn't just grab purity because it was a random VST with really cool sounds. They were copying Zaytoven, who was using the Roland Fantom and the Yamaha motif in all of his beats. And they were looking around for a PCM synthesizer, Rompler VST, that mimics the Roland Fantom and Yamaha motif. And that's where purity comes in 2005. If you go to Purity's website, you'll see that released in 2005, Purity is the next generation of digital musical instrument workstation and PCM sound module Rompler software. All of that is a whole bunch of fancy words to say that Purity is a PCM synthesizer and a Rompler synthesizer put into a VST form. And you interpret music as Plugg because it's PCM synthesis. That's why Purity sounds like Plugg. Okay, bet. So here I have a Juno 60 and I have this melody laid out. Listen to how it's all analog synthesis, and because of that, it doesn't really sound Plugg-like. It sounds more like something that Pierre Bourne would make. Now, the music theory isn't going to change, the BPM isn't going to change. The only thing that's going to change is the synth category that I'm using. Instead of analog synthesis from the Juno 60, I'm using PCM synthesis from the XV5080, which released in the year 2000. So these PCM synthesizers like the Roland Fantom, the XV5080, the Yamaha motif, those are the holy grail, Swin, I'm telling you. But yeah, Purity was a great VST for its time, and it definitely got some gems in there. But it's 2025. If you haven't done the work on finding other PCM synthesizers like a Emu Proteus or a XV5080 or a JV1080, or looking into Xenology or getting a real deal Roland Fantom, taking out the thousands of dollars out your pockets to go get these real synths, bro, you gotta do it. It's 2025, I'm telling you. For Plugg and plug-in beat, I recommend the motif because it's going to lean deep into that R&B bag. For dark plug, I recommend the Roland Fantom XR because it's going to give you the best of the bells, and it's going to give you the best of the ambient pads and the best of the synths, while still giving you really good acoustic sounds like the pianos and the strings and stuff like that. But yeah, in this video, I'm gonna be cooking up something around like the dark plug ATL drill type scene, something for like 2S Dirtball, Lil Tony on like whyceg or hariroc type beat. You feel me? Let's get into that thing, twin. I'm going to be using the Fantom XR editor so I could bring you guys along and use my hardware kind of like a VST on the screen with you guys. Making any noise itself, it's simply just a digital controller. So if I change the attack on the Fantom XR, it'll automatically do it right here in my hardware. First, I'm finna find me like a nice pad, something that's gonna be soft taking up my low end. I bet. So the synth preset I went with is the FS soft pad from my Roland Fantom XR. I centered the entire melody around the D note because we're in a D blue scale, and then I used the G and G sharp as ascension notes, using the G as my bass line, and then the G sharp 1 octave above. From there, I knew I wanted to spam the D note, but I had to play around with it, so I used the F to travel down to the D, and I sustained that note. And then I used the C to bounce back up to the D so that we could move back up into like a wave-like motion. Yeah, we gonna get into the effects, man. I bet. First, I'm finna throw on this EQ. Okay, cool. Next, I threw on this reverb from Valhalla. I bet. So after I make my like ambient texture with my pad, from there I go straight into the drums and add more melodic elements after. Because one of the presets the Roland Fantom is really known for is the sorry for the delay. I just threw on this EQ right here. I bet. Next, I threw on this reverb right here. Next, I'm finna get into adding an 808 bass, some open hats and stuff, and touching up the hi-hats. I bet. That's a 2025 Dart Plugg beat out of a Roland Fantom XR. That thing is sexy. I'm telling y'all, if y'all make Dart Plugg, that Roland Fantom XR is it. I send beats to Lil Tony, Lazer Dim, and a whole bunch of other Dart Plugg artists. If you need opportunities, just hit me up on Instagram, and I'm out.